Live quite yet, but here we are. Let me get things situated with the tripod and everything. We're going to start with the jointer and go to the planer and then to the table saw. We are working with this cherry wood that has been dried in my little homemade kiln. Got some videos on the channel about the making the kiln. The only heat source is the dehumidifier and fan. And so I was able to dry that wood in just about 2.5 weeks. It's not perfect, but it's doing all right. Here's the cherry wood that I've already milled up in previous sessions. And yeah, let me get you hooked up to the tripod and get things situated here so that you can actually see what's going on and all that good stuff. So I'm going to grab a better microphone, I hope, so that you can hear me better. Know in the chat if you can hear me better now. I'm not monitoring the chat yet, but I will here shortly if I can get things all situated. Oh, hey, Small Woodlot, good to see you. And let me get things where they need to go and get some protective equipment on. And let's see, I think I'll shift things around. One of the things I'm planning to make with this cherry wood is a shoe rack for my mom. And so I was just trying to sketch things out. I'm not much of an artist. Even stick figures I struggle with. So just get this a little bit closer to the edge of the workbench. Now, one of the problems I was noticing the other day when working on this cherry wood is that, especially on the jointer, and let me give you a little bit more light over here, especially on the jointer, but also on the planer a little bit, I was noticing a bit of tear out. I don't know how well that's coming through on camera. And so I was researching how to improve that, or rather how to avoid that, so that I'm not having to worry about tear out in the future. The research that I saw indicated that I should take small passes, and I am taking pretty small, pretty light passes. Right now I'm set to just, basically 1/64 of an inch at a time. I saw some information saying that that might be too little to take at a time, but that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Maybe if you're watching and you have some information on that, maybe that makes more sense to you. The other thing they said is to have sharp blades, and I just put new blades on this, so it seems like that shouldn't be the issue. And some said that cherry wood is just somewhat notorious for having curly grain, and it just kind of happens. But that one way to prevent it from happening as much is to wet the surface before jointing or planing it. So I've got a little mixing bowl that I smuggled out of the kitchen. Don't tell my wife. So I'm just planning to wet the face of each board before jointing and potentially before planing as well. So we'll see if that makes any difference or not. Another difference for tonight versus for those of you that were watching in previous incarnations, I was watching a video that Mike is Making Stuff posted during the live the other night, and for a different kind of hold down. So I was just using double stick tape to hold down my pieces when cutting off the first edge on the table saw. I'm going to try using Mike's idea on the hold downs and see if I can't get a better result with, or at least a similar result without having to go through the double stick tape. So with that, let's see here. All right. So a small wood lot, what are we making today? So I am just milling down the cherry for now. And then the idea is that I will be making, at least with some of the wood, I'll be making a shoe rack for my mother. You know, so we'll see how that goes. Slow your feed rate down. If you push too fast, you'll get tear out. Yeah, I tried various speeds, and it seemed like it didn't really correlate with, you know, how much tear out I was getting one way or the other. So I'll probably just try modifying that here and there, see if the faster or slower speed rate gets me better or worse results. But yeah, thanks for chiming in. Appreciate the input. We'll see if we can't get some better results. So I'm just going to pull the first board from the kiln here and just see what it looks like first. So we've got a fair amount of cracking on this board. Whoa, I guess I should not knock the tripod. And so we've got cracking down here, cracking up here, because have the pith of this, you know, board right there. So it's cracking from right there. I'm not going to try to remove the cracks entirely, because I think what I'll end up doing is probably cutting down the board and just using a portion of it. So I don't necessarily have to, you know, joint it or plane it down to that level. I'll just plane it or joint it down to the level that makes it flat, and then probably cut out the cracking sections before I actually use it. So with that, let me try wetting down this board, this face of the board here. I'm going to try not to get the jointer too wet, but I'm not sure how wet this is supposed to get to make this work, you know, to avoid the tear out, but we'll just try a little bit of wetness here and see if that helps at all. But you know what, it seemed like the first pass wasn't usually the biggest issue the other night. So I've got my dust collection hooked up, which is basically just my shop vac connected to a cyclone separator. I've got a video in my back catalog about how I made that setup. The hose doesn't fit the port for this, so I've just connected it with some blue tape. You know, blue tape can fix quite a few different things. So, all right, with that, I'm going to turn on my dust collection and then turn on my jointer and get going here. Let's see if there are any questions before I start the noise up here. All right, so we got yeah, creation dust. You had some awesome live earlier today. Saw some, you know, bear and a mushroom that you made out of, you know, with a chainsaw. It's pretty awesome. Awesome carver. Bear and the Boss Lady, also a great carver. Kevin, good to see you. Small wood lot. Let's see. And all right, creation dust. I used to make cribbage boards out of pieces like that. Had a template to drill the holes. Okay. Feed rate is how fast you push the board across the joiner. Also, it may be an issue with grain orientation. Yeah, I think the grain orientation is definitely an issue. It seems like the tear out is more prevalent going one direction than going the other, but it seems like I get tear out in both directions. So I think it's just kind of the curly nature of the cherry wood is what I was reading about, but could be wrong. It's happened before, probably. All right, and then Kevin, we've got you as a moderator here. If you want to post the channel links for all the other creators that are in the chat, and make sure that people that are watching are aware of some of the other cool stuff that's out there. And with that, I'm going to get going here before this completely dries out. I'm going to have to do it again. Actually, I found that the jointer tends to work better when I get it plugged in first. Weird how that works. So a little bit of chip out up here and there, chunk here, and then a fair amount down here. Definitely seems like it's more on the second half. I don't know if that's for a particular reason or just because. Let me take a look at the feedback through the chat and see. Using a pointer as a planer. You're saying using a jointer as a planer? Oh yeah, jointer. Suzanne, good to see you. This one's fine. Yeah. Yep, that's the plan. Small wood. Going to joint the one side and then use the planer for the opposite side. And yeah, yeah, hit the like button, everybody. That's a great idea. I like it. Let's see. And all right. All right. Yeah, lots of likes. I like the likes. All right. And switch the board end for end. Are you saying going from feeding from this direction to the other direction? Small wood. I didn't change that on this one. I thought about it, but didn't. But I probably will try that for subsequent boards that also experience chip out. Didn't really notice much benefit to wetting the wood that time. So let's see. We'll see on the next one if that works better. If you can hold on for just a minute, I've got something I need to deal with for a second. All right, so it looks like we're going to have to cut this one short. Got some family stuff I need to take care of that was not anticipating. So we'll have to do the rest of this another day. So thanks everyone for joining, and we'll hopefully be able to finish this another time. So yeah, make sure you hit the like and subscribe so you can see what we do next time. But thanks for joining, everybody.